Well, thank you all for your testimony, and if you've testified before Congress, you know that the next phase of our hearing today is the question and answer phase. So we'd like to get into that for a moment. But I would like to comment, first of all, I apologize, Ms. Harthway, for not being here for your testimony. I appreciate the testimony of all the witnesses, and I just want to make a quick comment on Ms. Dietrich's comments regarding inaccurate law enforcement or criminal records. I don't know if the panel is aware of it, but I was in law enforcement 33 years, starting from the deputy through the end of my career as the sheriff in King County in Seattle, Washington. Very familiar with the fact that criminal records are not accurate. I think it's it's really a poignant point to make here. And the other point that you made, really the whole effort here is to make sure that those people who deserve the assistance are paid the assistance. And I think that's really what this panel has come together for, to make sure those dollars, and just some quick figures. In New Jersey, 20,000 inmates collected over $24 million. And I could give you a list of some other states here, but the total cost of abuse really in this system, loss of dollars that could go to those folks that really need it, is $58 billion. That's the total amount of UI improper payments over the last 5 years. So we do have a lot of work and ground to cover, and I'm very pleased to hear that Mr. Doggett is supporting the legislation, as are you, Ms. Dietrich, and I think other members of the panel have been invited to also sign on to this legislation. It's common sense. Common sense brings me to the first question, Ms. Harthway. The steps that you've taken in Pennsylvania with your Office of Integrity, the words in some venues have been, the word remarkable has been used. And remarkable, I think it's just sort of a definition of what common sense is, I guess, now in today's world. Because you've taken some valuable and available information and you're actually putting it to use. So what lessons from what you've done in Pennsylvania can we learn and apply to this piece of legislation that we're considering?
I think perhaps the most obvious is that there are some simple solutions to some large problems. You have to look for them. You have to be open to those ideas. We knew Pennsylvania has a JNet system that housed all individuals who have been incarcerated. Obviously, we had a database for everyone applying for unemployment. It was really, in all honesty, a simple step then to marry those two concepts. In doing so, we knew fraud existed. We knew the scam of sitting in prison and collecting an unemployment check existed. The sheer numbers were a little surprising to us. It's the kind of information, and Representative Kelly and I spoke about this briefly, that spreads pretty quickly through the prison system. So a few individuals receive a check, a whole lot more know about it. Marrying two systems, technology, allowed us to stop that process fairly quickly. Now, the technology was there for us to do it, and it was not complicated. So I think the first lesson I would state is look at the fraud that's being committed and look at your existing systems. There could be a program to implement quickly to stop the bleeding.
So the bill points to the Social Security Administration's prisoner database, but there might be other databases that might help states with this task too. What criteria should we use to evaluate various prisoner databases and ensuring that the UI benefits are not paid to prisoners?
When someone's entering prison, if you marry up two identifiers, Social Security and date of birth, it's not a massive database, it's a prisoner database. That will pretty much ensure you have the accurate person. We then match that with the Social Security number and date of birth of any claimant applying for unemployment. There's the opportunity, should a mistake happen, for that individual to say, no, I wasn't incarcerated, and then further checks can occur. We've not had that situation. We've been able to verify each and one of the stops has been because someone was in prison at the time.
Great. Thank you for your answers, and we are going to go to 3 minutes apiece because we have, I've been told, some votes that may be called to interrupt our day. So Mr. Doggett is recognized.